Hello, Pep. Have you managed to have any sleep yet?
Yes.
How difficult is it for you as manager over these next couple of games to try and balance the idea of maybe giving some of your players, who are obviously very tired as well, a little bit of a rest, but also making sure they'll be switched on fully when it comes to the finals you've got coming up?
The two teams will have to play in the Premier League. Brighton and Brentford deserve all our attention and credit, and we have some players with some niggles. And of course the finals is the main target, but to play as best as possible, we have to start completely focused on these two games, because they are really good teams, and we have to do it.
We saw the likes of Calvin Phillips and Julian Alvarez starting against Chelsea the other day. How much of an influence do you think players like that could have from now till the end of the season on what happens for Manchester City?
Everyone, they influence everyone, because sometimes 5 minutes is as much important as the rest of the minutes. So everyone have been involved, playing more minutes than less minutes, but everybody has been involved. For the fact that we are where we are.
And as far as Brighton are concerned, obviously they've had a fantastic season, European football for them next year. How impressed have you been by the job that Roberto Di Matteo has done since he's come in?
A lot. So congratulate for Brighton for this incredible achievement to get in this league, the Europa League. I think it's Roberto's one of the most influential. What pay attention I'm going to say, because I'm pretty convinced I'm right what I'm saying, is one of the most influential managers in the last 20 years. There is no team playing in the way they play. It's like it's unique. I had the feeling when I arrived, the impact it would have in the Premier League would be great. I couldn't expect to do it in this short of time. He created 20-25 chances on average a game. He's better by far than all the opponents. He monopolized the ball in a way like I've never been for a long time. Everybody's involved. The keeper is like a holding midfielder. And if you don't play at a high level, he can do whatever you want and against you, against all opponents, and they deserve completely the compliments and the success that they have. Is one of the team. I try to learn a lot. It's unique. It's like a Michelin star restaurant. Like, it's unique. You know that when you were in Catalonia, it was El Bulli, the Ferran Adrià, the best cook for many years, and he changed completely the cuisine, and I think Brighton is playing is something unique. It's special, the way they move, the way they do, and it's a good, incredible challenge for us to prepare the two finals. Absolutely.
Pep, the two teams that you play now, they use a data-driven model when it comes to recruitment of their players, and many people would look at the size of those clubs and think they are far overachieving what the size of their club should be. What is your view of this kind of data analysis and how deep it can go to analyse players?
It looks like it works. So yeah, both teams. Brentford is completely different the way they play than Brighton, but what they do is excellent, exceptional. I think both teams here, we won Brighton, but the second half were much better than us, and we suffered a lot. And Brentford, they beat us fairly before the World Cup game, and both in different styles, they do really well. At the end, you have info, so no, for the device, but of course, they cannot. This analysis they cannot give you as a person, as a mentality, he will set for the way you play, because it can work for the one manager, but maybe not for the other one. So they have to be related for the idea, for the club they have, or the manager they have, because the other is just numbers. But it works. It's more info. You know, there is something like you have to smell it, and the other is the facts and numbers that can help you to have more info. And both clubs accept.
And just in terms of these next 2 games for your players. I can't imagine motivation is a problem for you, but players would naturally be a little conservative about going in for really, really tough tackles, knowing if anything went wrong, they could get injured for a final Champions League final. How do you deal with that?
Yeah, that is right. If I prefer to be already champion, but maybe it would be to be ready commit against United and Inter de Milan, to be already in contention to win the Premier League, will be there, but it's normal. So they had a party after the game against Chelsea. I don't know how they will feel tomorrow, but you have to do it. Otherwise, we will run a lot, we will suffer a lot, and I think the best way to prepare the finals is be still ready. You have to. We'll have a days off. We'll have a relax in the training session, but the moment you have to play, this player set one type of standards, and you have to maintain it. So otherwise, it will be more difficult for the finals. It's normally we're going to drop, because we have an incredible amount of energy, spend a lot of energy the last month, a lot. It's not just. So Arsenal play for just the Premier League. We have the FA Cup, we have a Champions League, Bayern Munich in Madrid. Being behind Arsenal, we have to knowing the game, the energy we spent was massive. And now, once we lift the trophy, so it's normal you drop. It's normal. But you have to avoid it, don't drop much. Otherwise, the 2 teams, they can hurt us and really, really hurt us. And you have to avoid it. Playing our game and adapt the way they play, what you have to do differently in both games to arrive after 1 week, of course, arrive to United and Inter in the best conditions possible.
Pep, when you spoke about Roberto just then, you said that you tried to learn a lot. What kind of things do you pick up from someone like Roberto?
Especially the time to take decisions. So Brighton is a master to have to pass the ball to the man free, but when I have to pass the ball to the man free. They had to move in the right time. And this is the best team in the world, the best. They do the right tempo, the pass to the man free, and the movements all together. So there is a part of how aggressive they are with the ball is continuing to be with Graham Potter. I think Graham Potter installed something really good in terms of aggressivity, in man-to-man. It doesn't matter what happened. But the way they do the process to use the keeper, they don't pass the ball after the movement of your opponent. When the moment the opponent move, I move. I pass the ball. When? It depends who jumps. And this in the right tempo, they are the best. The best.
And aside from the game itself, I know you're not talking much about this at the moment, but it's just after the emotion of Sunday as well, and seeing Ilkay Gundogan lifting the Premier League trophy, it seems that there's a potential still for him to be a City player next season. Can you bring us any further news as to what's happening over his future?
I cannot tell you anything because I don't know anything. I'm sorry.
Nathan Ake, can you just check on him? How's his fitness? How's his recovery?
He's getting better. I don't know if he's arrived for tomorrow. I don't know for Brentford, but it's the last stage. So we have to be careful after it was the second time injured, and we have to be ready his feet just in case we need it for United and Inter.
Do one here, please, Lewis, and one up at the top there, please. Thanks.
Hello, Christian Wange from Dagbladet, Norway. Where do you think Erling Haaland has improved the most since he came to City? And do you think it will be more difficult for him next season to reach the numbers he reached this season?
What he has to do is be happy, play the best he can the rest of the season and the next season. So he will decide what he can do better, and the team is going to help him. And so I'm not concerned. You understand about next season right now. So he's trying to get better and better. But he had the right mentality to do it.
Hi, Pep. It's recently been announced that Sergio Busquets is leaving your former club Barcelona. Just wanted to get your sort of immediate reaction to that, and is this sort of the end of an era for Barcelona in that sense? No,
this type of clubs never end an era. Players arrive, leave. Of course, Sergio has been the impact as a holding midfielder in the last 50, 20 years have been massive. But these clubs have the talent, I don't know what they have, to reorganize and rebuild absolutely for themselves brilliantly. So these kind of clubs all the time are up there. all the time. The standards of them is so great. So you win just one title. No, one title is not enough. It's not enough. Barcelona is difficult because they were able to win Spanish league for many, many years and lose the semi-final of the Champions League. It was a disaster season. So this is a standard of these clubs. That's why it's not easy to play in these clubs, because never is enough. In the same time, it's good because the demanding is so high, the standard is so high, you have to, all the club push for the next steps. That is when you become a real one of the best clubs in the world, and Barcelona is.
And how good was he as a holding midfielder for you?
The best. He read absolutely everything what happened, and he anticipate, he read the situations quickly, he applied perfectly. As much he didn't move much of the center, he could solve all the problems with his brain. It was fascinating to work with him and to learn of him, and of course I wish him, I said privately, but I wish him for the last years, and I will become an exceptional manager. I tell you right now, in the future will be an exceptional manager.